100-year-old war footage usually looks like this. But put that same film in the hands of Academy Award-winning Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson, and you get this. Flawless picture, full color and stereo sound narrated by actual World War I vets.
There's a terrific lot of kindness in a way to each person.
Visually stunning as it is, film purists are quick to point out that this is not a restoration.
I will watch an old print of a movie over a digital restoration any day of the week.
Boston Light and Sound co-founder Chapin Cutler earned the right to that opinion. When fellow film purist Quentin Tarantino needed to restore 120 70mm projectors to screen his gritty western The Hateful Eight, Cutler and his team were Tarantino's first and last call.
We scoured the country. We got some from overseas. We did some things that had never been done with 70mm projectors before, and that became our passion.
Peter Jackson, the grandson of a World War I vet, reminds us that these soldiers didn't see the world in black and white.
The one thing that the restoration does is the humanity of the men. They come to life again.
Even our purists can appreciate the value of the film.
It's making those images, those stories, available to people that otherwise would never have seen it. And not just a person, but millions of people.
Still, if like Cutler, you prefer the flicker of a film bulb to the hum of a digital projector, there's a squeaky seat waiting for you at the Brattle Theater in Harvard Square, where classic movies are projected on actual film daily.
One of the magical things about watching a movie on film is that sometimes we're showing a version of the film that was actually shown in the cinema at the time that it was released. It's a direct connection to history.
Creative director Ned Hinkle respects history, but is also aware of the need to keep up with the times.
We certainly play contemporary movies, so we play digital cinema features quite a bit. We'll do a screening of Black Panther with a live, streamed Q&A afterwards, but we are dedicated to continuing to play films on film.
The Brattle is holding on while classic film-centered theaters continue to close. Peter Flynn beautifully explores this trend in his documentary, The Dying of the Light, a tribute to the last generation of career projectionists.
It's time for me to retire, but this wasn't the way I wanted to do it.
Film preserves moments and memories from the last century. In the town of Littleton, Mike Levin takes time nurturing trees that can outlive generations.
There's nothing more real than a bonsai. Your hands are in the dirt, but most importantly, you're nurturing. That's really the awesome thing for me, to think that these trees are going to actually outlive us.
Several of the trees Levin cares for here at Bonsai West have already outlived their owners, Japanese Americans who formed a connection around the trees after a dark period in American history.
After getting out of internment camps, they really did bonsai not because they were great artists, but because it was something they could do. They can get together in the evenings.
Back in the 80s, a young Levin, newly infatuated with bonsai, found willing teachers.
There was Mr. Tsukamoto, who sold me his very last tree out of his collection. He took my hand and he squeezed it, and then he got a big smile and he said, "Now I go on vacation."
35 years later, Levin remains devoted to these historic trees. He's named them after the people who started them.
This is Mrs. Hatanaka. She was one of the first women of bonsai. This was selected as one of the 75 best bonsai in America.
At 65, Levin is content. He's found an eager student who will continue his business, but an equally important part of his legacy lives on in this, his very first bonsai, which never goes on display.
My daughter's going to inherit this tree, and this is going to outlive me, and that's a really wonderful thing.